Hey, what's up everyone? In this review, I'm going to go over what I'm just going to title the simplest review for the MacBook Air M1 model. The only thing I did as an upgrade was upgrade it to 16 gigabytes of RAM, so it came a little later than normal. I think about 2 weeks. So I've been using this for, what is it, 2 months now, or whenever they, come out. It feels like the year is going by so quick, so I'm losing a little bit of track of time. But basically, how I see computers, and especially when it comes to Apple products, is you have two tiers of people when it comes to tech reviews and the tech community in general. People that just want functionality and what is just going to work, and that's all they're caring about is, hey, if I do this, and this task, what does that compute to the power of this computer? And then you have people that want to look at benchmark scores and building PCs, and hey, they want to know all the charts and facts and figures of just stuff that your everyday consumer doesn't care about. So this review is for those that are just the everyday consumer, like, hey, can I just get some work done with this thing? So what do I use my computer for? Well, I use my MacBook for making phone calls by plugging in a USB headset on Zoom calls, things like that, for what I do for a living, but also just using it for video editing, photo editing, and basically anything else you could think of, browsing content, things like that, where I've had a really hard time where things that my MacBook Air, especially if you use Safari, I have better luck using Firefox even on this than any other browser when it comes to reducing lag. And I just really like Firefox when it comes to picture-in-picture video, and just there's a bunch of different things I can name, but that's not what this video is about. I always run into issues where it says your computer, this web page is using significant energy. I don't really get that at all. As a matter of fact, besides messing around and seeing how many 4K videos I can play and just really running iMovie and Photoshop and all these different programs at once, that's the only time I really ever have gotten any warning that a web page or application was using significant energy. But other than that, it's really hard to run this thing into the ground. For me, with performance at the end of the day, I feel like it's ran better than desktops I had in the past. Acer laptops I've had in the past. I've had, the last Windows PC I had was an Acer Swift 7, if I remember right. I have it in my closet, so I can't remember the model number. That had 16 gigabytes of RAM and an i7 processor that I bought 4 years ago, and this thing destroys that thing. I mean, it doesn't even compete. Now, when it comes to battery performance, I will say Apple's probably spot on with what their claims were, because this feels like it's at least double the power of my MacBook Air in 2018, and when it comes to the Acer Swift I had, forget it. I mean, it feels like this is 2/3 or more, definitely way more than half the power of that laptop. Now, I've had a bunch of different Windows computers and only one MacBook Air, which was the 2018 model, and I will say this is the first laptop I've ever had where I never have worried about bringing my charger or worried about battery drainage, even at home, because I can walk around, or since I work from home, I don't have to worry about having to sit near anywhere because I can't get a full day's work done on a single charge. This one, total peace of mind with that. Now, as far as the design goes, it's obviously boring. Maybe they could have come out with different colors or something like that, but I don't think anyone cares about that more than making it feel like it was a real upgrade as far as like the bezels. Maybe they could have went almost totally bezel-less with this thing. That would have been a huge upgrade, and I would have really felt like I wouldn't need a new computer for a long time. So what they lack in that department, they made up for in the software experience and also just in the performance. Now, when it comes to my overall thoughts on this thing, I will say that people who buy this aren't going to need a computer for a long time, especially with people working from home. But because more and more people are working from home, and I will say this is the #1 computer I've ever used that I would only recommend right now when it comes to anyone that wants to work from home, just when it comes to simplicity and performance, not necessarily what you like in software. If you like Windows, well, then I can't recommend this to you, although you can use Windows on Macs, which is kind of interesting. I didn't know that until recently. However, my biggest bone to pick with Apple is, can you guys please, if you guys are not going to really do anything when it comes to the hardware design, can you guys, and you're not going to give us more ports or anything, maybe not for a while, unless you start making these things thicker and whatnot, can you guys please just put a really good, can you just get the FaceTime and selfie cam on the iPhones and place it in here? So I'm in my kitchen where I recorded the video before. This is straight out of the MacBook, so no editing or anything, even with the sound. And I think I look so bad I don't even want to look at the screen below when it comes to using it. So Apple, why can't you just get this little sensor and put it in there? Because other than that, that's that thing where, if anything, when it comes to a computer and when it comes to working from home, like I said, I'm somebody that's on a lot of Zoom calls, coaching calls and things like that for what I do for a living. You know, hopefully one day this is what I do for a living, actually getting paid off it, but I just don't like the webcam, and I don't want to buy another one and put it on here, and just because I need to look impressive. And there's times I've actually used my iPhone for conference calls and things like that, or video calls, instead of using this, which is a pretty big gripe over that one thing. But besides that, when will Apple ever do that? I don't know. Maybe if they get enough complaints or people stop buying it because of a webcam feature. But not many people are even on their webcams. I mean, when coffee shops are open, I saw a lot of people with their webcams, covered with a piece of tape, Mark Zuckerberg style. Also, I will say, when it comes to macOS Big Sur, my experience has been seamless with it as far as function, but it just looks kind of kiddish. It just looks a little goofy, cartoony. And I think that's why MacBooks attract creatives and artists more, is because a lot of people I know go to Windows because it has more of a mature, professional look to it. So that's the only thing I still haven't gotten used to, is it looks goofy, in my opinion. I mean, using it, it's fine. I love it. I love the wallpapers, and I do love the artistic look. But it's definitely been something to get used to. And but I have no other complaints than how it looks, with that chiclet shape, the chiclet shapes and things like that. But anyhow, I think it's because Craig Federighi said in the interview they were trying to make it look seamless with the iPhones and iPads, but whatever. So I hope this was helpful and simple, like I was explaining in the beginning. I know it might have sounded like, listening back, it might have sounded like a little bit of a tangent. But hey, that's why I love tech, and that's why I like talking about it. And I definitely would recommend this. I mean, it's my favorite laptop I ever bought, but who knows? We'll see what happens this year or down the road when new products come out and the channel keeps growing. And I appreciate every single one of you that's subscribed, and everyone that is watching right now, even if you don't subscribe, just because you took time out of your day to watch this. So I hope all's well with you, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.